Check, check, check. Checking my volumes. Checking my volumes. I want to hear things. Okay. There's that. Let's mute that. All right. So let's get this started. We've been looking at this intro screen long enough. Let's do that and see if that fixes things for you guys. Not if I say no to it, it doesn't. Will OBS resize that guy? No. Why is it still 16? Apply. Yes. Change the size. There we go. Alright, OBS. There we go. That'll fill it out better since we're at the right size. Okay. So let's get into this. I'm going to make a new character here. Just hit me up if you guys have any questions or anything. Let's pull this up on the other screen here. And let me get into... I've got Discord open over here as well. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and get rolling here. We got some audio going. Let me move things around. I'm not super organized today. I wasn't sure what to do on stream, but I think we got a plan now. So let's get that there. Let's get this over here. Actually, let's drag this to that side. Get that there. And now I can see volumes. There we go. Okay, so resume game. Click play now. Okay, I got my two characters there. We are going to create a new character. So there we are in the apartment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Creating a new character, click on create. Hello, Director Flick, an electrical skateboard. I know at least one of you. If anybody has suggestions for cute names for my characters and whatnot, feel free to let me know. Okay, so in this game you get to pick between Illuminati, Templars, and Dragon. I'm going to go with Templar because it's going to be easiest. Settings, people, can I zoom? There we go. Okay, so, oh, that's why it's zoomed in. Head and face. Let's go. Do I create a guy? Do I create a gal? What should I do? I think this time let's do a womanly character this time. My main is a guy. I made another girl a while back, but haven't done anything with her. There aren't a lot of choices as far as the looks. Kind of digging the look that it gave me, actually. I've had pretty good luck with that. Yeah, I'm not even gonna mess with her. She looks good. Hair's good. Face is good. She's got some glowy green eyes. Nice job, random game generator. Yeah, even the brows. Maybe so she's got no makeup. It's no, yes, no, no. Probably not. I'm not a huge fan of doing crazy face things with the characters. Character size. We want to be short. Let's zoom out. Do we want to be tall? Let's be slightly tall, but not super tall. We'll pick clothing. Hat. Now, I'm going to pick a hat, even though I'm not going to wear it. I might. Maybe I will wear it. Who knows? You're green? Good. With these accessories, even if you don't plan to wear them, go ahead and pick one. That way you have it. Just in case you ever decide to wear it. Well, those are like horse blinders. What's going on? It's crazy. Let's go with yeah, with that. We need to take off the coat first, or we can't tell what's going on with clothing underneath the coat. Purple? Is there a darker purple? Just that? I feel like I want to be wearing some clothing. Oh, why can't I have that in that purple? We'll go with the blue. Okay, coats. Hoodie, open coat. Oh, I like that jacket. Got that in any cool colors? Let's go with that one. I hate these jeans. Like in real life, I just hate this kind of jeans. I don't know why. Just not a fan. Well, that's interesting. I kind of dig those. I kind of like the shoes she's got on. Let's maybe go with... These are the ones she started with. We got those with any other colors? Sadly, it appears we do not. Those are kind of cool. I'm going to go with these kind of Velcro running shoes. Maybe not. I don't like How do they look with the socks? Feel like there's more to see on those boots. Oh, those are cool. Yeah, let's go with it. Okay, we'll go with those. Select class. Okay, I'm gonna go, let's do something I haven't done. And notice it changes your outfit there. That doesn't matter. The outfit is unimportant at this point. Let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. The outfit that you get is just, you're gonna get a uniform. Doesn't matter. You can choose to wear it or not. I want something ranged. I feel like I want something... Trickster is my main guy, with pistols and chaos magic. Different modes will be easier or harder to do, like solo stuff. Elemental with chaos. That gives me good range, but my goodness. Gunslinger, warlock. I think warlock is going to be my choice here. To say difficulty. 5 skulls. Okay. Trickster, I think, is the easiest one. I should have my two characters here be the easiest and most difficult. That's how you should do things, right? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Mercenary, AR, and fist. One thing that I recommend is you do want to have a ranged weapon. Okay, so warlock is AR and blood. That's where the difficulty comes in. Now, the thing is, I can change and customize if I want. Yeah, let's do assassin. We'll do blades and elemental. The class is really, it just decides what weapons you're going to use. That's it. Let's visible to anyone who inspects your character. Yeah, so your nickname is the one that everyone's gonna see. Let's do TM. All my characters get the last name Malloy, spelled MAOLMHUAIDH, just like it sounds, Malloy. And then the nickname is just their initials. So go back to that. Okay, good. Let me have the name. We can get started in the actual game playing of the game while that's going.
In Tokyo, where the military is maintaining a heavily guarded perimeter.
Okay, so the beginning of this, you get somebody talking here over. Let's turn this mic way up. There we go. Good microphone action. There's a bee here. He's going to talk about an explosion that happens in Tokyo that's going to be important to the plot later. This bee is super important. Eating this bee is what kicks off the entire story of the game.
You will see the end of days.
Now this,
the dawning of a new age.
Talking to you are these dark entities known as the Sleepers.
Or a beggar.
In the old game, it was very clear. You had
Become a god.
a person in dark talking to you and a person in light talking to you.
The choice is yours.
I don't love how they revamped this for the new remake of the game. But, you know, it doesn't spell it out for you as much in the story, which I kind of miss a little bit. So anyway, you start developing some magic because you swallowed the bee, and you have received gifts from swallowing your magic bee. And a little more recently, those are CDs right there. That's a physical medium that music is stored on, and sometimes data. It's very Lovecraftian in nature. You do kind of lose your mind after casting your first spell. It's sort of fitting with his genre. It's going to be like a while before you get to do anything this cool ever again. Because that's how intros are, right? So once we get into some of this other stuff, I'm probably going to skip some of the cutscenes, just so that you guys, anybody that watches this, can experience all that for themselves. We'll go ahead and watch a couple of these beginning ones, but just in the interest of getting, into learning the mechanics of the game and everything, we'll probably skip some things. Okay, so we've got some achievements. If I hit Alt toggle stuff, I have a couple of mods installed up here. So if you start the game, you're going to notice there are a couple things that aren't up here. Nothing to worry about. I want that to stay where it is, but I want the inventory thing to move. There's my compass, and I've got map coordinates up there as well. This is for changing dress, and this is an auto sprint. So those mods are there. Let's change that. So over here you have a mission tracker, which does what mission trackers do. If you click on any of these, you can see which mission you're on. Notice it's got a couple different types. There are dungeon missions, action, sabotage, investigation, and then side missions. You can have 3 side missions active at a time, 1 investigation mission, 1 action, and 1 dungeon. If you're on, and then 1 story. So the story missions are the overarching plot of the game. I'm actually going to put this over so we're not worried about chat. You can have 1 of each of these types of missions. If you go and select a new one, it will cancel whatever one you're currently on. You can also pause missions if you want to save one for later. Down here we've got abilities. I map all of these ability things. I have this one mapped to my back button on my mouse. I've got this one mapped to my middle button and this one to my forward button. Then left click, right click, and that one I actually hit E for. It makes life a lot easier if you map each of these to something on the mouse. Let's see if it'll let me do that in the tutorial. So if you go to controls, and you go to general, we go to controls here, combat, and we scroll down, you'll see on the action bar I've got these mouse button 4, 5, and middle. Makes things a lot easier when you're playing the game. Okay, so
the world trembles. You must learn or be swept away.
Okay. So notice when I'm moving, I've got this targeting reticle. I'm going to put that on her. And I'm going to hit F. And she will give me this quest.
Haste.
She's going to ask me to do stuff. Over on the right, notice, move through the cemetery gate. Now interact with the box to pick up a weapon. Push F. Then we go to I to open the inventory. Right click, equip stuff. You can also click and drag. Notice I don't have much stuff here. If we click here, we can go to dressing room. I can remove, let's click on unowned, so it's only going to show things we actually have. I don't want to wear a hat. I don't really want to wear the glasses, and I don't really want to wear the coat. So now, maybe I do want to wear a coat. Gosh. Let's wear the coat. Okay. So now our next goal is to move closer to the Dream Architect. And on the map, you can see
The dead are rising to the siren song. Destroy
we have to
them.
listen to her. She wants us to kill this guy. Now, down here, you can see that you get an ability automatically mapped to my left click, and then I've got one automatically mapped here. I recommend changing those guys as soon as possible. It won't let me, in the tutorial, it won't let me have access to the menu to swap stuff around. But I like to make you have a basic ability, which requires no energy. I like to put that on my left click, so I can just click on stuff to kill it. Then you have a power ability, and that uses these 15 power units that you have. They auto regen, so I'm going to use this power ability a couple times to take out this zombie.
Basic abilities are as effortless as breathing.
She wants me to use
Power
the
abilities draw upon your reservoir of energy.
boy, I am a weakling.
Lay the dead to rest. Silence the call.
So now I need to take out a whole bunch of zombies.
Be mindful of the voices.
Listen to the voices
They
that
will
whisper
whisper
in
in
your
your
Okay, so these two voices, like I said, in the old game, there were two people who would talk to you. This graveyard wasn't even part of the thing. And you would have the person in light and the person in dark talking to you. And that's what's happening here in this tutorial. It's just
You
they've
must
kind of
learn
reconfigured
focus
it.
and control.
Learn more
The
about your
watchers
weapon.
will intervene only in dreams and only once. Every weapon becomes a unique focus for your abilities.
You can,
Skim through
over
the air,
time,
find your rhythm.
learn
The
every
blade
single
is
weapon in the
spirit
game.
forged of will. You will teach your enemies to dance.
So it's telling you how to use more abilities. And notice I've got this right here, the Spirit Blade special ability. That's important if you use a blade. Every weapon has its own sort of thing. They don't like the word gimmick, but that's what it is. Every weapon has its own gimmick. So with the blade, as I build chi, it's going to forge my Spirit Blade. So let's we'll use a bunch of this.
The Rakshasa have also come to heed the song. Have pity.
And notice
Spare them no mercy. They were
once
like you.
once my blade is forged, now I can use Spirit Blade. Why is that not happening? There we go. Which makes me do much better damage. I was hitting the wrong button,
World
that's why.
shakes, the dead rise. You will be tested.
Explore the graveyard. That was difficult. And all
You are cursed
all
with
through
free
this,
will.
it's going to be updating this to tell you what you need to do. Okay, so let's just get this done. Double tapping dodges. It's going to explain that to me in the game in a minute. Continue exploring. fight more zombies. Notice one of my abilities there is regenerating my health. Hey, what's up, guy? How's it going? I like the helpful audio cue to let me know about the thing. Now, picking stuff up is important. It's going to outline things in bright yellow for you. Those help you pick things up, or they don't help you. Anything bright yellow is something you can interact with. Picking things up is important. There are a lot of times in this game where if you pick up a quest and then wander off, you will have issues. So you want to make sure after you pick up a quest that you look and make sure that you've picked up any items that you need to pick up. Thank you, Mike Azariah. I've got quite a few friends that I'm trying to get into this game, and I'm kind of streaming, and then I'll upload this to YouTube too for just how to get into the game easier, how to control things, because it is. I feel like it's a little bit MMO light. It's not super difficult, but it is a little tougher than, just, I don't know, it's not necessarily tough, it's just not everything is self-explanatory. Okay, so I put my thing in, and my quest is updated. Revenants are one of my favorite enemies. I'm super not used to left clicking for my power ability. Yeah, like, I agree. The storyline and the cutscenes are definitely worth the work. They were worth the work in the old game, in my opinion, but not everyone agreed. The old game was significantly steeper learning curve. Okay, so now what I need to do is hit Control R to send my mission report, or I could just click this. Either way. You hit Alt again to get into the thing. So collect. Now this is going to, when I open this talisman reward bag, it's going to give me some gear. It's given me a luminous chain. Now the chain is a waist, W-A-I-S-T, talisman. You got to take this and we're going to equip it. Now this is, notice it's got 2 pips. All of your items can have 1, 2, or 3 pips, 3 being the best. What it really determines is just your starting stats of the item. So what you want to do is try and acquire as quickly as you can in the beginning a set of 3 pip items that have effects that you like, and then you're going to continue through the entire game to upgrade those. Don't sweat the gear too much though, because everything is replaceable, and if you level up a piece of gear and you decide you like a different piece of gear better, but now you've got this level 20 piece of gear that's doesn't have any effects on it, you can use that to upgrade the next piece. So there's it's not that there's no bad moves to make, but it's very forgiving. And yeah, the old game crafting assembly was, you had I'm not even going to get into it. You had to collect so many materials. Okay, so this is... She's talking at me. So this is an investigation mission. Investigation missions are the ones where you may have to leave the game and hit Google and learn Latin. Don't be too daunted. You could always just cheat and just directly look up the answers. In this case... Obtain and complete investigation mission. Notice that on the wall there.
The torch, child. We speak in metaphors because alien minds cannot decipher them. Your path will be equally puzzling. Wisdom must be your torch.
Now notice my abilities have changed down here because I'm holding a special item. That doesn't come up super often in the game except at specific times and when you're doing certain things. Like if you're in a fight where you're unarmed, or if you are using a stick to bash a piñata, something of that sort, then you will get different abilities. And it's important to make sure that you drop whatever item it is if you need your normal weapons back. Okay, so it looks like we've got some tiles to step on. They're pretty heavy-handed with the clues here as to which tiles I'm going to want. So I'm going to only step on ones that look like that. And I will not die. So now we're going to continue on to the next chamber. Don't think. And again, we have the two voices. So this one, again, this one is pretty heavy-handed. We've got Tiger Claw, Angel, and Sickle. That's what I like to think of those as. So I need to hit these buttons. And I'm going to do them in the order that they were on the door. So we'll do that one. And we'll come back, and I saw the other one over here. And we're going to run. And that's our third one, right? Yeah. And now my door's open. That looks pleasant.
Even if this is merely a dream.
Whee! Down the tube we go. Okay, so now we're in a new area. I need to hit a button down here. That's why my other computer was going to sleep on me, because I forgot to turn on the power strip it's plugged into. Oops. Okay, so moving ahead. Now we're going to do a sabotage mission. Now, sabotage missions mean you're going to be in a Beastie Boys video. Not really. That would be way more fun. Sabotage means there are going to be traps. You're going to have to use cunning and stealth. So we'll go through this using cunning and stealth. We'll accept the mission. I didn't mention it, but to pick up missions, you target the person that's the quest giver and hit F, and then you'll get the list. So notice, enter the bunker. I'm going to actually walk down the path this time. Okay, now we're in the bunker. Notice these lights look very much like landmines, because they are. So don't step on those. It doesn't show an achievement. I was thinking there was an achievement. This game does have obstacles and things. Spaces jump, predictably. So when we get here, we're going to hop over that. When we get in here, notice the floor is electrified. You can turn off if you feel like they're being too heavy-handed with showing you what stuff you can interact with. You can turn off the yellow outlines. But, you know, we'll just use it. Okay, no more electricity. I'm not going to end up like those guys. Hey, what's up, Dream Architect?
Walks, the clever mouse will walk unseen. A mouse cannot defeat a cat face to face.
I certainly cannot defeat this golem face to face. The red area is where it can see. And just, you know, stay out of the bad. I believe it's going to be on that door, I think is where I need to go to. Oh, he could have seen me there if I had done that foolishly. Okay, so now he's being shocked. Wait for the shock to go away from the water. And we're going to inspect this dude. 3691. If you see a picture or something like that in a mission and you need to go back to it, you can hit J to open your journal. And in your journal, you can click on Show Image and you'll see the image again. So if you ever accidentally like dismiss an image or something too quickly, you can do that and go back to it. I'll just click these 3, 6, 9, 1. You can type them if you want. Okay, so now we're out here. Okay, so now our
Talismans
next
can
thing.
protect you, strengthen you, and focus you. But they cannot save you. Nothing can save you, but the choice will set you free one way or another.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit Alt. You can do Control R to collect your missions as well. Accomplishes the exact same thing. I have leveled up. Let's do that. What does it actually want me to do? Press I to open inventory. Equip your new talisman by right-clicking it. You can right-click. The thing about right-click is you can also use right-click when you're talking to a vendor to sell things. You can also use it when you're upgrading items. I can't open the upgrade pane yet, but right-click is contextual. So sometimes you'll right-click something and it will have a different effect. So personally, I like to only use right-click to sell things, and then for everything else I click and drop. Do things your own way. I'm not your dad. Do it how you think you should, but be aware that right-click doesn't always do the same thing, and you might accidentally sell something. We got this guy up here. My level 2 self just gonna run right up against that with no ranged attacks whatsoever. Seems like a good thing to do, right? I'm hitting the wrong button for Spirit Blade. I see some new people in the viewer list. That's cool. Most weeks I'm making music here, but this week I'm playing games. Okay, so now we've had this sort of series of visions. Depending on what faction you've chosen, you'll get a different handler come and contact you while you're chilling out playing with your little ball of light. I picked Templar earlier on, so it's going to be a Templar that contacts me. If you're on the fence about picking one, do the faction that seems the most fun to you. Templars are sort of... The game feels like it was sort of programmed, like it was built around the assumption that you would be doing Templar.
Good afternoon.
Which
Are
is
you-
weird. I would have expected them to go with
From the
Illuminati,
look of
but you
things,
know.
I guess that question is moot. B problem? There's a lot of that going around. I represent an organization headquartered in London, a very large organization with branches across the globe and connections in every government.
So this is
Although we see
different
ourselves as a,
depending on
a
which
silent
faction you've
partner.
chosen.
we pull strings, big strings.
In this
Prime
case,
ministers,
Templar,
presidents,
she's going to come in,
kings.
talk me into going to London.
Dark days are coming. The
If
world
you
is in
were
turmoil, and
Dragon,
we're
you'd go to
recruiting
Korea. If you
soldiers,
were
agents,
Illuminati, you would go to New
adventurers,
York.
Crusaders.
The tutorial
We
is
offer good terms, a
the
fresh
the
start,
easiest, I
a
think, for
network
Templar.
unlike any other,
But
unlimited
once you're
resources, a
past that,
fantastic medical plan,
it's
and a way
really
to harness and use your incredible
it's not
powers.
as important which
You may be a
faction you
big
are. You'll get
transition, but
different
look at
flavor
it this
text
way.
and things.
This is a unique opportunity. You have been chosen. You have been granted powers beyond what most can imagine. So you can either be an outcast in a world that will never understand or accept what
Alright.
you've become, or you can join.
We're gonna skip past this because if you're playing the game, you should experience those for yourself. This is a how to get into it day. And basically, she's just telling me, "Hey, go to London, do the thing. So, like I said, the game it feels kind of Templar centric. It used to be more that way. Like the banks were in London. Like there was certain stuff that if you wanted to go to the barber, you had to go to London. It just seemed like they sort of assumed most people would be Templar. It's not as much now. Most stuff happens in the central hub in Agartha. We're gonna
Sorry, can't let you through without authorization.
skip ahead again here. Get back into actually playing the game. So let's see. Will it let me? No, it won't let me do any of that stuff yet. So let's move ahead. It wants us to go to the tube station. If you hit M, you will get your map. I have spoilers on my map. I've put some stuff on here. It's going to show you where to go. You can add markers where things are. Can I run now? Oh, I can. I can run. And I've got my auto sprint turned on. There's a waypoint marker, if you notice that blue thing telling me where to go. I'm not sure why it was there, because the tube station is this way. I've got a mod that shows where those lures are. Oh, goodness. It's on the other side of that. Or is it over here? We don't need to chase that down now. Okay, so now we need to find the Prophet Square outside. Yeah, and if you start the game as Dragon, they'll take you to a hotel, and they'll chat you up and tell you a bunch of stuff. If you start the game as Illuminati, you gotta hunt stuff down in New York. Illuminati is the most difficult tutorial, I think. We're just gonna talk to this guy. He's gonna tell us a story, and we're gonna pass out.
To catch out those Anansi sheds, there's a storm coming. Mundo storm. Paint your glass houses shut. You don't have to take his word for it. This is a warning from the sun. It says it's old and tired and scared of death.
Okay, moving forward. I do recommend, if you start playing this game, to watch all of these. I've seen them a few times. The story in this thing is just magnificent. It's just well worth. Like I was saying earlier about the old game, it was worth it there. Okay, so the new game, the mechanics are much easier to deal with. It's definitely worth any kind of learning curve to get into this and get the story.
Someone once told me the Illuminati had all the answers.
They're saying a bomb.
It's never just a bomb. Okay, so we have passed out, and we are now inhabiting the mind of Sarah. Mei Ling here is going to give us a mission. If you want to talk to people, you can do that, but it seems like more people than not hitting F on them does nothing. Let's examine Sarah's duffel bag. Okay. So now we've got another weapon. Let's move that over. So I'm going to stick that in my secondary slot. And when you do the tutorial, it's going to explain the gimmick of each weapon. So with this, using cooling abilities chills your thing out. Heat causes you to do more damage. If you're overheated, you can't use it. We don't need to watch the video. Speciality, that's the word they like instead of gimmick. So I need to now... Okay, so if we look at this, press N to open the skill window. The menu up here has all of the things you can use. This is going to get bigger as you're able to do more stuff. So you don't have to memorize everything. You can get a reference up there. N opens this. Now, I'm going to flip through these real quick. They want me to select Elemental, and they want me to unlock Firebolt. So we're going to do that. They've given me 5 points, so I'm going to unlock that ability. And because my bar was not full, it has automatically put it on there. Now, I'm going to switch these two around. So now I've got my basic ability on left click. So let's take a look at this real quick while we're, you know, standing in the subway waiting for zombies to attack. Fireball is a basic ability. Basic abilities don't require any energy to use them. You have your 15 energy for each weapon. Firebolt here is a power ability. Notice that this one consumes 3 energy to cast it, and then underneath that it'll tell you what the effect of the ability is. I like to set my basic ability to left click. And then I'll set this to my back button, my middle button, or my forwards button, and then my middle button. You can only have a basic ability from your main weapon. Right now my blade is my main weapon, so I have Flowing Strike equipped as my basic ability. Then you can populate the rest of this with power abilities and special abilities as you see fit. But you can only have the basic ability from your main weapon. The other difference between your main weapon and your off weapon is your main weapon's energy regenerates twice as fast. So see how it regenerates one energy every second? This is going to generate every 2 seconds. So notice we have a tree. We can follow this path. If we start here, we can follow this path. If we start here, we can follow this path. This path is more or less, the top path. This is the AoE path. And then this is the single enemy path, and then this one is special abilities. If we go down to my elemental, I believe it's the same thing. That's your basic, but then you get Chain Lightning as an AoE. Mjolnir is a single enemy, so it's not always organized as far as like group of enemies, single enemy. It may be organized differently on different weapons. If you played the old game, all of these will be unlocked when you get to when you finish the tutorial. If you have not played the old game, you've got to pay Marks of Favor or Aurum. Marks of Favor you earn in game. You get, I forget what the amount is. You can get about 15,000 of them each day, I think. So that'll let you buy stuff like this. You've got 3 main currencies to worry about. You have Astral Shards are the currency that lets you do stuff. Marks of Favor are the currency that generally lets you buy stuff. And gold is what you can exchange actual dollars for. You don't have to use real money. You can exchange marks to get gold. The exchange rate, though, is about 200 marks per gold. So it takes quite a few marks to get to pick up any gold. There are some other currencies for specialty stuff. You don't need to worry about that until way into the game. Now over here we've got passive abilities. It's going to teach me those in a minute in the tutorial, so we'll talk about it when we get there. Next thing, open the gate. Oh, you cannot get ye flask.
Open the gate! I'm trying. It's inside the electric somehow.
Yeah, well, sorry. I didn't get to you in time. You got some thing, just got you. Okay. That says my goal was completed, but I feel differently about that. Why is it coming straight for me? Oh. Notice that thing got filth all over me, and I have a negative effect.
It's gone viral so fast. If this gets out into Tokyo...
It doesn't. We stop it here, whatever it takes.
So you want to try and not get splashed with that stuff. You're going to do that in the tutorial, and then you're not going to see this place again for a long, long time. But whenever next time comes that you see this filth and filth-infected things, you want to try not to get the filth on you.
Let's do this.
It'll cause debuffs. Overcome the filth. Okay, so let's attack these guys.
Don't even breathe in.
It's reacting to us, like it knows we're coming.
This stuff can't think. It's a cancer. Cancer doesn't know you're coming, it just is.
Move through the gate.
New plan. Fight chaos with chaos. Keep the bastards at a distance, then take them out.
That's your plan?
Well, it's a plan.
You've got points, Sarah.
Incoming!
I need to swap that to there. Oh no. Is my next quest regroup? Yeah, regroup.
We're gonna need to use some heavier powers. Don't hold back, right?
Okay, so now it's going to want me to go to passives, and it wants me to do blade passives, and we're going to learn this. There are different ways to go about doing these abilities. They want me to do that one and this one for the tutorial, and then finally, yeah, okay, just those two.
We'll hold them here. Make us
There's a train of thought, or a school of thought that would say you want to open each of these first ones first and then concentrate on these. Now, if you've played the old game and you have all of these opened, you can make yourself kind of OP for the beginning zones by going down this whole list on every single weapon. Each one of these abilities is a permanent stat increase. So you've got 17 attack rating when you do that. When I do this one, it's going to give me 17 crit power, 25 protection. If I go down and I spend my 5 points on each of these, right? So I'm going to spend 25 points. And I'm going to spend 25 points on this one. By the time you get done with that, you are super buff. But it takes a while. So what I would recommend is to maybe do all 5 of these on your 2 main weapons, and then start building out to the side. By the time you've got enough points to do that, you'll have also been upgrading your active abilities, and you'll know which abilities you like the best, and you'll know which ones you want to kind of aim for. Because see how this Eye of the Storm affects my Hurricane ability. Now back here you can see that I've got the Hurricane ability. It's one of my main abilities that I'm using right now, so it makes sense to get the passive that helps boost that active ability. If you look down this and you're like, oh, man, I don't ever use that one, I don't want to build that one out. If I look at this and I say, oh, I use Deluge all the time, it's my favorite. It's not. I don't know that much about the sword abilities yet. But if you look and you see, okay, this is the ability I want, you'll want to build out to get that passive to help out the active that you're using. All right, let's get back to killing stuff. Sup, guy? How's it going? Just coming out of there with your red eyes and everything. I'm just going to shoot fireballs at you until I run out of energy. Staying out of the bad. Oh, he's dead. Oh, I should have stayed out of that. I don't have auto loot taken on. Okay, so I got a gadget. I'm going to put that there. And notice that shows up on C. I don't remap that. C is easy to get to. I hate trying to hit Q and 1, 2, and 3. Those belong on mouse buttons in my opinion. But now I've got Worn Curio, and it will just heal me for 80. It'll heal whatever your target is. You can also hit tab if you want to use a potion. You get 3 free potions a day. In my experience, that's more than enough. You can buy more if you want, but I don't know. I haven't had enough difficulty with the game to need more than 3 of them in a day. Let's move this way. If you notice, I had a mission tracker showing me where that lore was, or legend, sorry. You won't have that if you haven't installed the mod for it. Let me see if I can... Let me turn that off. Come here, you. Okay, so it's all... Relock that. Okay, is this... Yeah, let me switch that off because that's going to be distracting for... I do recommend that mod. It's nice for being able to find legends. The auto sprint mod is also nice. We got to help him out by press F's to heal.
Good. But even Gaia would be tested by what is to come.
What's up, dudes?
Wasn't working out.
Yeah, about that. This ain't looking much better, to be honest. Now is not the time for argument.
Told you he would say that.
Of course he'd say that. Alright, so let's...
Well
Those white lines that show up show you where their attack is going to focus, which is helpful if you would like to not get hit by their attacks. You want 2 of them? I want 2 of them. I got some filth on me. If you look down above my health bar, right now I don't have any bad stuff on me, but that's where your buffs and debuffs will show up. You can get abilities later to help clear your debuffs. So see how it's, this guy is clearly gonna just leave a streak of filth all over the place. So we want to stay out of that. Why is it telling me I don't have enough chi? I'm new to swords, so... Or at least newish to swords. I spent quite a bit of time in the old game with it, but that isn't necessarily helpful. Oh, I'm all alone.
Look out! It's all coming down!
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys can chill. If you want to hang out in this subway, I'm gonna go walk into space. Because space. Oh, I'm gonna go back to being... Well, I was already me, but Sarah's gonna go back to not having me in her brain. In the meantime, I'm in space.
You look like you've just seen the end of the cosmos, mate.
Something like that. I have seen the end of the cosmos.
I know the feeling. We're on the edge of it, and it's time to play your part, seen? Me and you.
Okay, so let's move ahead. Again, when you play this game, the cutscenes, the acting is fantastic. I'm just running through things so that I can show you guys the mechanics and whatnot. You can get mods for this game. I recommend a couple of them. This one right here, this Boo Sprint. If you just look up Boo Sprint, you'll find it. They're easy to install. The game makes it real easy. It's in the game folder. There's a section for custom mods. All you got to do is unzip the mod and throw it in there. This makes it so that you'll automatically sprint anytime that you can. Very handy. This builds is for saving. I use it mostly just to save my outfits, frankly. The game has a built-in build manager. It does not have a built-in outfit manager, so I use that so I can change clothes. Okay, so these things, these legends, we're going to pick those up. They're going to give you free XP, basically. They also L to view. So if we hit L, we can see these legends, and you can read these. There is so much, like, so much time and crafting and care went into this. You can pick these guys up. I'm gonna change that to combat. I don't want to have all that going on back there. So there are different zones. If we go to achievements here, we can see that as well. Legends you'll pick up, and you can read these at your leisure. They are sometimes helpful and informative, but just so much cool stuff in there. There's all this flavor text, all kinds of world building, just loads of wonderful stuff to get into. Being very disrespectful and just running through the fountain there. All right. So now, at this point in the game, depending on which faction you are, my outfit could use a little more red. I won't deny it. I forget what the Illuminati is like in the Dragon, but Templar, you just show up.
Come in.
Like
Come in.
You just come in, and this guy's super nice to you. You don't have to do a lot of stuff.
It is the basis for us getting along famously.
He's gonna give us some instructions to enter the Crucible. You will almost certainly see at least one other, like level 2 person just chilling out here anytime you're doing this. Crucible's over here. Yeah, depending on which faction you've picked, this tutorial takes a couple of turns. The Templar is the most straightforward one there is. Dragon is pretty straightforward. Illuminati, they make you chase stuff down, and it kind of makes sense if you think about it. You can sit down in chairs. I think at one point there was a bug where you could get stuck in the chairs. Okay, so this is going to be an important kind of part of this. Our first mission is to pick up a cell phone. They do not like it if you go off the grid, as a matter of fact. They want you to have that phone on you. Okay, so notice I don't have any weapons anymore. That was all a dream. So now we're for real. Somehow I kept this stuff, but I lost my weapons. So I got to pick up my primary weapon. And then equip it. Drag that to primary. Yes, bind to me. And now I have a message. Okay, you're not going to see it because it's... Hang on. Let's move my face out of the way there. There we go. Okay, so there's this text message icon. So you got to hit Alt and then click that. Find everything with left. Escape that. Okay, take some discarded weapons. Now this is like I said, this is an important thing. This is how you craft things. So if we press Y, it's going to open this upgrade window. It will also automatically open these. It wants me to right-click, and again, like I was saying before, right-click is contextual. If you've got your upgrade open, when you right-click, it will put it there. You can always click and drag things, which I recommend, because if you click and drag something off like that, see, I cannot delete this item. If I could delete this item, it would pop up a dialog saying, hey, yo, you really want to delete that? And I would say no, I did that by mistake. Okay, so here's the thing about upgrading. I have this Blade of Restoration Mark 1. This is a terrible weapon. The restoration is a nice effect, but notice it's Mark 1. It's got 1 pip. It has really low starting stats. I'm going to replace this thing as soon as I can. But for the tutorial's sake, when I drag this over here, see how that? It's going to cost me 0 astral shards. Later on, this will have a price. You get these from just killing stuff and doing missions. You're not going to have any trouble keeping enough of these on hand, generally. If you do, you can just pick up some trash stuff and sell it to a vendor. They'll give you... as long as you don't severely mismanage them, you won't have any trouble keeping enough of these on hand. Let's pull this mic up here. Here's the thing. See how that's got a plus? Because this is a blade, and I dragged a blade over here, that's going to give it 250 XP. If I drag this magic focus over, notice it's only going to give it 100. Now, in the tutorial, it's going to make me do this. So I need to do all of these and upgrade it. So, but notice each of these is giving it 100 points, and this one's giving it 250. That's more than twice as much. That's, you know, 100. It's 2.5 times as much. 100 versus 250. So what I recommend is you only upgrade your weapon using matching weapons. Okay? So you're going to upgrade blades using blades. I'm going to upgrade my elemental weapon using only elemental weapons. What do I do with the guns and everything else I pick up? Sell it to the vendor to get astral shards. If you need marks of favor, sell it on the auction house to get marks of favor. So anything that isn't matching. So I'm blades and elemental. So this blood focus goes to a vendor. This chaos focus goes to a vendor. Shotgun goes to the vendor. If I need astral shards, I'll sell them to just a regular vendor. If I need marks of favor, I'll throw them on the auction house and people will buy them. What you can also do is then go to the auction house and buy a lot more of these cheaply. But the basic idea is upgrade your weapon with like items so that you're always getting this bonus. Anything that doesn't match, use it to acquire more of things that do match. Okay, so let's get on with it. We assemble. It's going to explain. Sacrifice any talisman to upgrade a talisman. Sacrifice any weapon to upgrade a weapon. So, put that back. That is the other time I use right-click. I use right-click to sell stuff and to get stuff out of this window, so it re-equips. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my next weapon. We're going to equip that. And we say yes. Now we're going to come over to this chest. Hit F. And we'll go to Y. And so this chest didn't give me as many. I don't actually have to upgrade this at all. But notice again, our cute little USB cord. This is a phone charger, by the way. It's a phone charger arranged like a voodoo doll. That gives it 250. These are only going to give it 100. Why am I not selling those after that lecture I just gave you? Because you can't. They're trash items from a tutorial, so they're just bound. You can't do anything with them. Okay. So now, exit the Crucible and return to Sonic's office. The Crucible, you can use this to test out abilities. They don't push you towards it as much. The old game used to force you to do this as part of the tutorial. But they got all these demons chained up down here. I don't know how that works for the other factions, actually. I don't remember. I think they do something similar. But you can test range. Unless I'm too far away. And you can practice your abilities. So if you're working on figuring out which abilities to chain in which order, you can use these guys here. These are good for practicing more single stuff. The ones that are chained up over here, these guys that are chained up over here are good for practicing your area of effect stuff. So like if I'm using this, see how I can see numbers coming off each of these. When I get that, forge my spirit blade, start using that. I ran out, and notice I ran out of blade energy, so I started in with my other weapon. And you can practice figuring out what sort of skill you should chain in order to get the best effects. I'm pushing F here. There we go. Yes, go back to London. Okay, and we trigger the next story quest.
The time has come to discuss your upcoming excursion to the colonies. I'm afraid it's business, not pleasure. Small island community on the New England coast dropped off the map. You can disregard the tiresome government cover-ups. There are dark forces at play. Solomon Island is a rock with infamy. In the past, it was trafficked by...
So, get into the cutscene a little bit. He will explain some stuff. Once we get through this is the end of the tutorial of the game, and you will be able to interact with other players. There's a shortcut if you're playing a Templar. You should learn about this. Oh, sprint 1. It's not fast. We'll just run down here. Since I had that marked on my map anyway. Okay, so we're going to come out here, we're going to go to the train station, and then we will be in Agartha, which is where we will see other people. That's not a player, that's an NPC. That's an outfit you can get that I run around in pretty frequently. I don't know that I never ever noticed anyone wearing it. So, we're going to travel to Agartha, which is the Hollow Earth. The station master is going to explain to us how to teleport. I'll just explain that to you instead of waiting on him to get through it. Okay, we're going to skip ahead a little. So he gives you an Agartha conduit. What that does is you can hit Shift T, and Shift T will let you teleport. So let me item. I have to use this. Now I'm allowed to teleport here. This was something that went through several revisions in the old game before they settled on different ways of doing things. This game, super easy. You just, once you get that conduit, you hit Shift T, you can teleport. Notice it has all of these other locations that I can't teleport to yet. In order to be able to go to someplace from Agartha, you first have to go to that place by normal means, and then use the Agartha entrance from that place to get back to Agartha. So you have to open the door from the other side, as it were. You can't open the door from Agartha into a place, with exception of the first area when you get to a storyline point, and they'll open a portal. But you can't just run around going every place. Now, right now is it is currently 3rd of July, 2018. It is 10 minutes till the hour. So there are some people gathering here. What's going to happen is this portal will open to a public raid area, or where you can fight a giant monster. We're not going to do that right now. Right now it wants me to investigate the inside the Great Tree. Done that. Investigate some more. Earlier I mentioned you can pick up a stick and take out piñatas. Those legends I've been picking up, notice they are giving me 275 XP. The higher your level is, the more they give you. Some people will recommend that you just don't pick those up until you're about level 30 or so, and then pick up a whole bunch of them. Again, I ain't your dad. If you want to do the math and figure out when it's most effective, you can do that. I just pick them up as I go. There's never going to be a time when you don't need XP. So, and there's never going to be a time where you can't run missions to get XP either. Okay, so now I can get my daily rewards. Alright, so those are good. Let me pick up this. And now that I'm here, I can also do another thing. Alt. Let's go to this menu. And if I go to delivered items, see how claim TSW vanity. So because I played the Secret World, I have several items that are going to transfer over. I didn't play any women in Secret World. I only played male characters. So I don't have as many cool outfits as I do if I switch to a guy. But that's okay. The big thing that it's doing for me is giving me all of those achievements. And it unlocked every one of these weapon pages. So if you have a Secret World account from the old game, you want to do this in the new game. You want to link your accounts up. I'm not sure if you still can, if it's been years, but you might be able to make it happen if it's been, years since you played the old game. But now I have all of these weapon pages unlocked, so that's super handy. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and run into Kingsmouth Town. We'll travel here. We'll do the first couple things. And then once it gets to be the top of the hour, I'm going to switch to my character, and I'll show you guys that raid that happens. But at this point in the game, you can interact with other players. So if you're doing the tutorial, getting ready to join some friends and do meetups and whatnot, this is the point where you can be like, hey, hit me up, we can get in a group, we can all run missions together. You can rerun most missions. Not all missions, but most of them you can rerun. They will have a cooldown period. And I'm just going to run us through just the getting into town. This guy's going to welcome me with a cutscene.
Oh, don't worry, kid. You haven't gone back in time.
The gravel-throated announcer guy. So, notice the first mission here. This is my story mission, this Dawning of an Endless Night. The first mission in that is to do the mission for A Fistful of Zombies from Jack Boone. So you'll run into that. Sometimes your story mission, if you try and just do the story mission without doing enough other stuff, you'll hit a point where it'll be like, hey, reach level 12. And that's your mission goal. Okay, so we need to kill zombies. Die. Go down. Goodness gracious. Alright, let's Okay, that was 8 of them. My next mission is to jump on cars to trigger alarms. This car does not have an alarm. This one does. So that attracts zombies to us. You can use these sort of elements to help you out as you play the game. The environment will help you. Okay, we got... They all down? Okay. Now we're going to light this gas can on fire. We're going to attract zombies. And we're going to lead them through the fire. So we'll just kite them over here. And the zombies have gone through the fire now. Next thing we got to do is examine a half-eaten corpse, which means we want to find something eating a corpse. What's up, fellas? You'll do. So now we'll examine this. How's it going? Now our next part of the quest is to look for survivors. Now, this right here, this is an important quest game mechanic that you want to know. This is, notice I've got my story mission. And I've got my main mission, which is currently this action sabotage missions go there. I'm going to pick up this side mission, Bullets for Andy. Normally, side missions, you won't have any like cutscene or any text or anything. It'll just be something you do. Pay attention when you pick them up, because the next step is grab ammo from the pickup. So I have to, if I just wander off without reading my mission tracker over here, I might not have realized that I needed to pick up one of those items. So always pay attention when you pick up an item, or when you pick up a mission, to see if there's anything else you got to do before you just run off. So notice it's changed on the tracker to this. If I want to see back on this one, I can just click it and switch back and forth between the ones that I'm doing. So look for survivors in Kingsmouth. So now I've completed that because I found survivors. I've also found an animal well. An animal well is this yellow spot on the map. You can click on this and teleport straight to it. I don't need to because it's right down there. So next thing we're going to do is go to Deputy Andy. And my next, it says place the ammo in the ammo box. Now, I've deliberately not collected my reward from the last mission, just to show you guys. We hit Control R. It won't ruin anything for you. It won't waste anything. See how I was able to pick up both of those. Now notice this is just, I'm going to sell that because it doesn't match either of my weapons. This one, however, we'll put this over here. And I will feed that to it. And that is now a level 2 talisman. So now we are in town. That is sort of the first part of the game. Just playing through the tutorial and getting you into town. Hopefully that was informative and you guys learned some stuff. I'm not going to complete this next part of the mission. I am going to do F10. And I'm going to go to character select. So that's how you get in. If you guys have any questions, comment, leave questions, hit me up in the chat, however you want to do it. I'm happy to help out as much as I can. I'm not like a super expert in the game, but I have played through all of it with this character. So let's get him. Ooh, I got 3 minutes to get to that gate. But yeah, this game is super fun. I love the mechanics of it in the new game. It was a little bit of an adjustment going from the old one to this one, but I do really like the mechanics. The story is fantastic. The setting, there's so much lore and there's so much depth. It's a pretty game to look at. There's just really worth checking out. super fun to play. And what you might have noticed is up until now, we haven't seen a lot of people yet. And you'll see people, all of the areas are pretty heavily instanced. So you'll see people asking, like, man, is this thing just dead, or what's going on? It is not. Okay, that I already picked that up on the other character. Okay, let's teleport to Agartha. As you're going to see in a minute, the game is very much not dead. It's alive and kicking. But everything is instanced because it's not really so much of an MMO as it's more like a Silent Hill game or a Resident Evil sort of game where you can run into other people. Okay, I'm going to switch builds real quick too. Let's do... yeah, that one. We're going to jump across this. I got 35 SP up there. I think 40 is what I need to... okay, so notice here, Agartha is capped at 100 players per instance. And notice, from running around Kingsmouth, there were only a couple people in there. But when you get to Agartha in the raid here, you're going to see a lot more stuff happening. Okay, let's... I'm going to switch to... let's do dad mode. Running around dressed in my dad clothes. I love the variety of outfits you're going to see in this game. Alright, let's get into this raid here, and I'm going to do that before I hop off for the day. So we've gone from the tutorial to this isn't strictly in-game content. You can run this stuff at level, 5 if you wanted to. I think it'll let you in at level 5 or even level 3 probably. Because I think you always end the tutorial, I think, at level 2. I think it'll let you in at level 2. If you notice down on my life bar, there's a buff with scales. And then there's the running buff there. The buff with scales, what that does is it levels everybody's stats. So whether you're super high level or super low level, you're going to be able to contribute to this battle. Let's jump down here now. The first thing I'm going to do is this. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't have my wings yet. Yes, I do. We'll get that off at the beginning of the fight. Something I didn't mention is this game is free. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. So it does not cost you any dollars unless you want to spend dollars on it. And there are, if you want to buy clothes and buy sprints and things, there are plenty of microtransactions to be had. But I played through the entire storyline and everything without having to get anything. There was nothing that I was like, oh, I have to spend money on this. I have bought the game 3 times when it was the old version. So I got it for myself, for my son, and for my brother. But I like that there's plenty of stuff. If you want to buy things, there's plenty of stuff that you can. But you never really feel like you absolutely must, unless you're really, really completionist about your collectibles. And because you can get the gold using those marks of favor, you do still, even if you're a free player and you never spend a dime, you can still contribute to the game economy. So when they first released it, they were they went a little bit crazy with the first release, with some of the microtransaction stuff and how much different things cost. But this event that we're doing right now is celebrating the 1-year anniversary, and over the course of the year, they've gotten it to where I feel like it's a pretty decent state. Alright, so this is going to teleport me back to Agartha. And then I'm going to hop off of here. If you're new to this, I'm Ailshawn from the Grammar Club and from other video game music remixing projects and the like. We're here on twitch.tv/The Grammar Club. We are also on YouTube and Bandcamp. And if you go to thegrammarclub.com, you can hear a random selection of our music. We run a long playlist of our stuff, and it just streams all the time. So if you're interested in hearing the Grammar Club without having to go through the paywall from Patreon, you can hear our music at thegrammarclub.com and check it out. If you like it, maybe throw us some dough. If you don't like it, that's okay. Don't throw us any dough. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here. Again, I'm Ailshawn from the Grammar Club, and I will see you guys later.